Where Sean Levine will step into the cage with Brendan Tobin in Are You Gonna Fight Me?
I'm gonna fight your ass!
Here on Tapped Out.
That's right, fight me like a man.
Only on the BetQL network.
You know the rules. I want a good, clean fight. When I tell you to break, I want you to step back up my command and break. Now go back to the corner and come out fighting at the bell.
That's the bell, which means we're fighting. Brendan Tobin, Sports Machine, Sean Levine. The XFL reopened its season for like the at least third time today. I'm giving it 2 years, and then it's done again, and then we never see it again. You gonna fight me?
Yeah, I think it's done after this year, dude. Nothing made me sadder today than seeing The Rock introduce the XFL on social media. I'm like, that has to be the smallest crowd Dwayne Johnson has been in front of in like 35 years. Whenever the last time he was indie wrestling, the last time he was in front of a crowd, like not even, he didn't even waste catchphrases on them. I was like, what is going on here, XFL?
I don't even know why they wasted a microphone. It feels like he could have just grabbed like a megaphone and I don't even know if he needed that and just talked to the however many hundreds of people it looked like were in that crowd. Yeah, I don't know. I'm going to give it 2 because it has the backing of The Rock. So like there's some finances behind it, but not too much longer than that. Speaking of football, real football, the odds are out for next year's Super Bowl. And believe it or not, the reigning, defending Kansas City Chiefs, the champions, are supposed to win it again. Their odds are 6-1. You're going to fight me if I say I would take them over the field. You can have everybody else, and I'll take the Chiefs again. You going to fight me?
Well, I don't know if I want to fight you on that, but I'll tell you one thing. Like, don't give this segment to Travis Kelce so he can, use it to fuel his doubt because, Travis Kelce, he certainly feels slighted being the betting favorite and knowing that everybody doubted him, even though nobody was doubting him.
Are you bitter? You sound a little bit like
it's just like it's a bit mild. It's just like, nobody believed in us. I'm like, what are you talking about, dude? Like nobody believed in you? What? Who is
There's only 2 things.
They?
Here's the thing. At a championship parade, there's only 2 things that you can say. You can either say, nobody believed in us and here we are, look now. Or you can say, we're going to be back next year. That's it. And then the cheesiest, corniest thing to do, which a lot of these guys decide to do, is just start swearing a lot. Just cuss and be really loud. And, it's like, it's just those parades are they get under your skin. They're great because that means your team won a championship, but they kind of suck too.
I think the worst thing that's ever been shouted at a parade was Bill Belichick when he shouted "No days off." That was the worst ever. No days off, and everybody like this guy has 6 Super Bowls, and they're like, "Huh? We're all taking a day off."
That wasn't the worst. That wasn't the worst. When the Royals won the World Series back in 2015, Johnny Gomes took the microphone and went on like a 10-minute tirade that completely has Kansas City split. Half the town thinks it's the greatest thing ever. And here's the thing. Johnny Gomes took like 4 at-bats season. He kept going about, we didn't have the MVP. We didn't have the Rookie of the Year. We didn't have this. It was like, dude, I didn't know you were on the team. Why are you talking? So
that reminds me of when the Lakers beat the Heat in 2020 and Deion Waiters, who was let go by the Heat, he declared himself Champ Cheese, even though he had played 0 minutes.
Champ Cheese.
Shout out
the only
to
thing I
Billy
remember about Deion, the only Deion Waiters story I'll ever remember are the gummies. The gummies on the airplane.
Dude.
I mean, after you see that story, you're just like, all right, this guy. I don't know about this guy. You're going to fight me if I say Deontay Wilder and Francis Ngannou, let's say they ultimately step into the ring. I don't think with boxing gloves, either guy can knock out the other guy. I know that sounds crazy, but I don't think either one of them can knock out the other one. Like, I think that both – okay, let me rephrase that. Obviously, they can. They've got the one-hitter quitter power. I would be absolutely shocked if that actually ended in a knockout. I'm talking about a knockout, not a TKO.
In a boxing match, you think it would be You think it would be shocking for Deontay Wilder to knock out Francis Ngannou?
Yeah.
Why? No. Why would I be shocked by that? He's one of the best knockout artists ever. Like, why would I think that it's shocking that Deontay Wilder could knock out Francis Ngannou? I think the shocking thing would be if Francis could get him.
Well, obviously, if Francis knocks out Wilder, it'd be crazy just because we're talking about boxing. I just don't know that. Look, the Bronze Bomber probably has the most powerful one-hitter quitter that we've seen. Does he still And would it work against Ngannou is all I'm asking. Or do you have to put it on the perfect spot?
He still put Tyson Fury on the canvas. He's put him down 4 times, and that's the best
He
heavyweight on
didn't
the
knock
planet.
him out. He didn't knock him out.
But dude, that's a guy who that's the best boxer on the planet. And by the way, he did get a slow count in that first fight. Like, go watch how long. No, what?
Stop.
Go look at the ref. The ref took forever. Give him like 15 seconds to get up from that.
This guy. All right. Speaking of boxing, I think that Paul and Fury is going to do awful numbers next week. I don't think anybody's interested in it. You going to fight me? I'll watch it, but you're going to fight me? Nobody else is going to.
No, I'm not going to fight you. Like, I think I really think it's going to be interesting because if what you say happens, if Jake does knock out Tommy Fury, I still don't.
Third round.
I still don't think he's going to get the credit from the boxing community. And it goes back to my point with Jake Paul. Like, I don't really understand what he's doing this for anymore, because I felt like he got into this because he knew people hated him. And now I genuinely do think he's trying to get credit from the boxing community. It's never going to happen. Like, when we had Sean O'Connell on, you could see how happy they were to have him. And I think that's just because MMA will have more respect for the outsider who comes in and tries it more so than boxing. Boxing is never going to give him that type of credit. They're too close-minded. And I feel like this will be, no matter what happens, he's going to find a lot more joy and satisfaction just going into PFL and MMA than he will in boxing, because he'll be more embraced. Yeah, people will think he'll get smoked, and that's part of the beauty of people wanting to fork over their money, is to watch Jake Paul lose. But even if he loses or if he tries, like, going into MMA, he's going to get a lot more respect than he will for any of these boxing matches that he's gone through.
He is in a weird spot right now because, like, you start off by doing as much of shtick fighting as you possibly can, right? Like ultimate YouTube fighting. All right, just find me some guy, and it's like, you fight Nate, an old basketball player, former slam dunk champion, 5'9", whatever, Nate Robinson. It's like, all right, cool, you beat him. And then you kind of start to step up your competition a little bit. You're fighting old MMA fighters. When I say old, I mean literally retired UFC fighters, obviously Tyron Woodley and Ben Askren and the like. I don't know how much respect this gets you from the boxing community, because I think that he thinks because now he's fighting a boxer, he wins this one. What else can people say? Well, what people can say is, this dude, yeah, he's a boxer. He's living off the Fury name. He ain't his brother. His resume doesn't tell you anything. He's pulled out twice already because I don't think he's been prepared to fight you. So, frankly, what are the odds, by the way, Jake, if you can find them for us? Because I don't care what.
The last I saw it was Paul minus 175, Tommy Fury plus 150.
Oh, well, damn. So what I'm saying isn't original at all. The odds makers say what I'm saying is going to happen, huh? Well, all right.
It's just, I don't know why people are going to believe in Tommy Fury unless you just genuinely think he's got, that skill set to keep Jake off of him and to deal with actual boxing skills. That remains to be seen. I think one of the things that's tough is, like, Tommy Fury is, just not really been on that big stage yet. We don't really know. And with Jake, yeah, I've never been more wrong about anything on this show than saying that there's no shot that he's going to flatline Tyron Woodley, and be damned if he did. He knocked him out one punch, boom. Now, that was a really bad fight up until that point. But he still did it. And I definitely didn't think that this whole train was going to be rolling for this many years, but it has been. He's been able to keep it going. But I do feel like it to your point, I feel like it's gotten a bit dull. I don't think this is going to do big business unless there's some big melee next week and he's fighting actual Tyson Fury at the press conference. But, we'll see. I guess we'll see what the lead up is like this week.
I appreciate you admitting when you're wrong, and you've got a lot of experience at it. So, good for you. Brendan Tobin, Sports Machine, Sean Levine here, talking a little fighting each other. Ultimate Fighter is underway, or at least the filming. Michael Chandler versus Conor McGregor. I tend to agree with what you said earlier. I think when it comes down to it, I'm going to put a little bit of money on Michael Chandler. But let's see what happens. Let's see how they look. Let's see how this whole thing progresses. Let's see what the odds are once fight night comes out. That being said, you're going to fight me if I say the best tough moment ever was Chael Sonnen and Vanderlei Silva. When Chael told him, I can't let you get any closer. Jeans, flip-flops, and then he ended up taking her to the ground. Is there a better one? You going to fight me?
I mean, Respect to Chael Sonnen of the Jeans and Flip Flop Club. I've been, I used to be part of that club until, the shame of society got too harsh down here in South Florida. But I used to love rocking the jeans. Look at you, buddy. You're still holding strong. Good for you. I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
Props to Chael Sonnen for being an ass kicker who's still going to do that.
I think I just tore something.
But my favorite tough moment, of course, is Rampage Jackson ripping off the fake door in the heavyweight season against Rashad Evans. I mean, that season's, that's the Kimbo season, has a special place in my heart, but him ripping off the fake door is always going to mean something to me.
How about Nate had some good moments too. There were a lot of good. Julian Lane. There were quite a few that I can think of. All right. Masvidal. Let's talk about something that you can't get enough of. If Masvidal loses to Gilbert Burns, and I'm going to tell you right now, he's going to. That's why he's a plus 300. If he loses that fight, and if Conor loses, then they should just fight each other. You going to fight him?
I don't feel like – I feel like the move is more so if one – I think Masvidal has to win for Conor to do that. I think that if Conor fights – Masvidal off another loss, it feels a little bit too much like him versus Cowboy again than if he were to fight him off of a win. I feel like he'll actually get some credit going up in weight and fighting a guy like Masvidal. Because here's the thing: if Masvidal wins and Kamaru beats Leon, I don't think that he's going to get a title shot against Kamaru again because they've already done twice.
No way, not a third time.
And Usman knocked him to another planet. So.
Yeah.
That to me would be the likely path to him fighting McGregor is Masvidal beats Gilbert Burns, and then if McGregor wins, maybe he fights for the title. But if he doesn't get a title shot, then maybe he fights Jorge Masvidal. But I think Masvidal has to win for him to get a crack at McGregor.
When they're active, who do we think are currently the three most popular fighters in the promotion? Conor, probably still Masvidal, probably John. Right? 1, 2, 3 in some order.
Better say Sean O'Malley or he's going to tweet us.
Dude, honestly, Sean O'Malley's probably 4. He's probably 4.
Maybe. That was my point, though. That was the thing. That was my point. He's on his way. He's just not there yet. But, geez, don't tell the fat, stupid guy to say anything like that. Otherwise, might ruffle some feathers.
You are the fat, stupid guy. Dude, I hate to, I think I disagree with you. I think it took me a few weeks, but I think I end up agreeing with your ass.
That's my point. Is look, Sean is going to get there probably, but when you asked me that question at the time, we were arguing about, Masvidal has headline pay-per-views and now is basically going to be the reason for selling out an arena. And he's been in the sport for 20 years. There's nothing wrong with Sean.
That's the one. That's the one. It's longevity. Yeah, come on.
There's no knock on Sean. It's just I just feel like Masvidal's more of a name because of his longevity. He had a very iconic knockout. He did win the BMF belt with The Rock giving him, much better situation with The Rock giving him the BMF belt than being an XFL. Let's be honest. But Sean definitely if Sean wins the championship this year. Rocket to his back, dude. He's gonna be in the next stratosphere. But he in a lot of ways he's a reason why this has taken so long because he slow rolled his career. He wanted to get through this first contract, taking on no name guys, and then took the big swing against Jan. Props to him. Manage your career how you want to manage it, but it does slow the path of you becoming a bigger star.
Of those 3 guys, also, John was the youngest champion that we've seen, so it didn't take him long to become super popular, or at least worth watching. His likability's always been up in question. With Conor McGregor, out the gates, he's fighting Max Holloway and Dustin Poirier and all these guys. So right away, and then the Aldo thing didn't take him long, so right away he became a star. In the case of Masvidal, the truth is he was basically a journeyman for a really long time, where in your neck of the woods, people loved him down in Miami in the backyard fighting and the Kimbo Slice stuff and all that. But the truth is, he wasn't a pay-per-view draw. He was on the undercard a lot of times. And then he's become this guy.
Even down here, I remember talking to George about this after the 2019 thing, after the magical year. He goes, I could still go to Publix when I was, before this past year. Now I can't even go out there. Can't go to a Sedano's without somebody. That's a food market chain down here. I can't go there without people giving me 100 selfies,
We've got Schnooks here in the Midwest, if you were curious.
Schnooks, Schnooks.
Right. Yeah, that's right. Schnooks. My point of bringing that up was, within this calendar year, 2023, if everything breaks perfectly, Masvidal could be fighting Leon for the belt. Conor could be fighting whoever if he beats Miles Chandler for the belt. And John Jones
DC could be fighting John Jones for the belt, dude.
Okay,
DC John Jones for the heavyweight belt. That's what I'm talking about.
Okay. And then Sean O'Malley wins the belt, and then Sean calls out Conor, and then Conor loses weight. And Stop. Coming up next, speaking of all kinds of crazy conspiracy theories, there have been a lot of them going on in the world of fighting. We'll see if BT has his tinfoil hat on tonight. I'm sure he does. I'm the sports machine, Sean Levine, with Brendan Tobin. You're locked into the BetQL network.